And now, from the studios in Wall Township, New Jersey, this is Moron Sports Radio.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Moron Sports Radio. Ron McNair, Jacob Vernick, Noah Gorstein, and Michael Lopes here today. I noticed how I didn't say Tyler's name. Yes, he's not here today. And that's like a first, right? How many shows has he not been to?
Zero,
yeah.
He's here in spirit.
He's like a cockroach.
He's watching over us.
Can't get rid of him.
From above.
Okay, guys, in the big news in sports, the Yankees are on a 5-game losing streak since the last time that we were here. They lost 5 of their last 6 games. They played a series against Kansas City. They lost 2 of those, and they got swept by the Red Sox this weekend. But more among the controversy of that, on Saturday's game, Jorge Posada was slated to bat ninth by Joe Girardi, and he refused to play. He was benched. Obviously, he didn't want to play.
Well, he didn't refuse to play.
He did.
He asked for a
day off.
Well, yeah, but still, that's what it means. Yeah, that's basically, in his essence, means he doesn't want to bat ninth.
He was embarrassed.
Exactly, and he should be. He's batting 140. So,
among qualified hitters in the major leagues, he has the worst batting average out of 173 players.
That's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if he wants to, where else is he going to bat? I mean, if a guy who's batting 140 is not going to bat sixth
and should not be batting. Period.
It's just a detriment to the lineup right now. Like, I'd rather have who's the backup shortstop for them?
Nunez. And Nunez is freaking terrible. So
yeah.
I have no idea what Posada was thinking. I mean, after that in the third inning, Brian Cashman releases a statement. He says that if Posada doesn't play the next day, he's going to get suspended.
Yeah.
And there's still
docked pay,
whatever. So I don't think he played. Did he play? No. He didn't play on Sunday. He got the day off.
No, he pinch hit in the 8th inning.
But he didn't play because he didn't start because he has bad numbers against Leicester and it didn't really turn out well for the Yankees anyway. They lost. But I mean, where do you think this controversy goes next? Do you think this stays on? That's exactly what I was going to say.
On the retirement at the beginning of the season.
Where's it going to go? Posada has gotten pretty much to rock bottom now.
Andrew Jones should be the DH at this point. I'm pretty sure he had a home run yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's just a better hitter than Posada. A DH should be one of your top 3, if not your best hitters on the roster, and definitely not the worst hitter in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Posada has definitely been slumping through the entire season. Now he's batting 140. At the beginning, he started off to a really good start with the home runs. He had like 7 hits, and he had 5 of them home runs. So
he's gone hitless in 19 of the 32 games he has played in this year.
That's absolutely ridiculous. It's unacceptable. And I think Posada, you know what? He's had a great career. A lot of that core 4 is a lot of those Yankee winning teams from the 90s now are gone. Him and Jeter will probably be the last, and Rivera will probably be the last of them to retire. I think Posada's got to retire sometime soon. Maybe he has to call quits if this continues, probably by mid-season. Maybe All-Star break, something like that. But I think Posada, knowing him, he's probably going to want to get it done through the entire season.
Yeah.
No matter how
he's not
bad he does. He probably wants to, save it for the offseason and retire. But then I think Posada could be a pretty good hitting coach.
Yeah, or even a manager.
I'm going to say a player-manager.
Yeah,
possibly.
Player-manager.
Like
what are we, in the 40s?
On the Braves.
Are you in the 40s right now?
Frank Robinson was the last one.
He was
great, but he was actually pretty good at it.
Yeah.
So, Posada can't do it because he can't hit right now. But Posada could be a very good hitting coach for the Yankees. I mean,
or catching instructor possibly.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I could even see him as a manager. Most managers are catchers because catchers have to know the game the best. And I could see Posada being a manager.
I don't know.
Not for a few years.
I really don't.
Not for a few years.
He's a bit too stubborn for that. I think Posada's a bit hard-headed.
I don't think he has the best English either.
Because I mean, there were times when he was still old and he could really hit the ball. Like when he was a few years ago, his average was in the 300s. He had 20 home runs.
320.
So he at times he could really crank it up. Now I think he's just completely lost it. So now he's really stepped down. But I think Posada, like I said, it would be.
But keep in mind, we said this about Ortiz last year that he lost it. Last year he was hitting 150 at this point, and he got that average all the way up into the 240s, 250s by the end of the year, and he's still hitting well this year.
But Ortiz is younger, and
exactly
Posada is worn out from 17 years of catching or whatever.
Yep, and I mean, catching does wear down the knees. I mean, it's ridiculous how long Posada has. Most catchers don't make it this long, to be honest with you. 16 years in the catching, and he caught 120 games a year. And he did that consistently for the Yankees, and he worked with the Yankee pitching staff for so long. And I think it's part of it is just because of the sudden transition to DH. I mean, we said that he might have been fine after he got used to DH earlier. Maybe he's not fine with it. Maybe he's just not good at it. I mean, because there's a big difference. He's more involved in the game that motivates him for his hitting. And I don't know if it's that or maybe it's just that he's completely lost his touch.
I think it's almost time to call up Jesus. give him a chance at the majors.
I wouldn't do that. I mean, I'd call him to the 40-man roster, and that would be exciting. September would be kind of exciting. But basically, I don't see the Yankees set to win this year at all.
Neither do I. They're at 500.
Yeah, there's no way.
No, they're a little above. They're 20 and 18. They're 2 games ahead of Boston in the loss column, and that's it.
But they are
and behind the Rays
by like 4 games.
Yeah.
And they're going into a series against the Rays now. I think.
Yeah, they play the Rays tonight, 6:40. But there's no way that the Yankees can, in my mind, just get past the Red Sox and the Rays. Because I mean, the Red Sox just completely dominated them. Every time I looked at the score, it seemed like they were winning. It was an onslaught. That's what it was, especially
yesterday. A-Rod ball right through his legs.
Yeah, and that's another problem. A-Rod isn't hitting at all, and A-Rod is.
Cano isn't on his best either right now.
I know. So I mean, there's nobody on this team that is really impressing me except Granderson. And Granderson can't carry a team. He's not exactly that kind of player.
He's a leadoff man. He's got the most home runs on the team.
Exactly.
It's second most in the major leagues.
Yeah, like we said though, he did hit a lot of home runs with Detroit. So I mean, that's not really a surprise to me. But I'm still.
I don't think he ever hit this many.
Yeah, but I mean, Yankee Stadium. I don't know.
That's true.
Last year he was kind of off. He didn't really hit that much last year because he was off and fixed his swing in the middle of the year. But like I said, you guys said the same thing with Cano. A-Rod isn't hitting. A-Rod is bad. Has been in a long slump now for a couple of months. He started out the season pretty hot. So did Cano. Cano was red hot in the beginning of the season, and they're both really cooling down. And if these guys don't hit, there is no way in hell that the rest of the lineup is going to hit.
Teixeira is not consistent whatsoever. I mean,
exactly. Teixeira has been very inconsistent. We know that he's historically not good in April and May. I mean, he's kind of...
Yeah, he's always been a slow... But this year, it seemed like it was different.
This year, I mean, he
started off so hot this year, and now he's cooled off to... And he's hitting, I think, 263 or something.
Yeah, but it's definitely not as bad as the years past. I mean, I just think we're not drawing attention to it because of the way Swisher and Posada and A-Rod are slumping.
Exactly.
And, another problem... Swisher has been hitting well from the right side. He had a couple hits against Leicester last night from the right side. But then, when Daniel Bard came in, he just couldn't get it done.
Well, Daniel Bard's the
But still...
pitcher. He's hitting 99, 100 on the gun.
That's not a problem. I mean, you're a major league hitter. You're trained to hit 100 miles an hour at the most.
Their bat speed's over 130 miles an hour.
Exactly. It shouldn't be a problem for these guys. It really shouldn't be a problem for guys like Swisher to hit. I mean, and he doesn't throw like an electric slider, like say Jabba or Zumaya. He's one of those relievers that just comes out and he's going to throw you a fastball, 100 miles an hour, straight down the middle. You can't hit it. You can't hit it. That's it. So I mean, and he couldn't hit it. Not Posada. Swisher's on the bench now, and he couldn't hit the ball. And I'm pretty sure the Yankees would have won if they kept that. If he maybe got a hit that situation.
Can we go over to some other hard throwers? Did you hear about what happened with Chapman yesterday? 1/3 of an inning, 23 pitches, 5 strikes, 4 earned runs. His ERA was 108 yesterday.
Everybody has bad days.
No, I know, but he's having a bad career. Do you think that he's overrated and won't, or do you think he'll become a great pitcher?
I mean, there's only so much you could do with talent. You have to develop that talent right.
Right.
And the Reds have been kind of notorious for not being a very good talent developing.
I don't know. Team. Barry Larkin, the entire Big Red machine.
Yeah, but I'm saying recently, like the past 20 years.
Barry Larkin. He's one of the greatest.
Except Barry Larkin.
Look what they did with Bronson Arroyo.
Except Barry Larkin.
Barry Larkin was a great talent.
But he was a good pitcher before he came to Cincinnati.
Not really.
Everybody's a good pitcher before they come to Cincinnati.
And he wasn't even that good. He was just a Red Sox long man. He did made spot starts. But anyway, basically, Jacob, what I'm trying to say to your point with Chapman is, I mean, the choice is the Reds. They can either notice that he's not ready for the big leagues and send him down for some more time in the minors, or they could do what the Nationals did with Strasburg and wear him out until he has to have elbow surgery.
Well, because they're keeping him in middle relief, and he's a starter. Is my main issue.
Starter?
He came up to the majors to be a starter, not a bullpen guy.
Yeah, I know.
Did he last that long?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Cuba, he was a starter.
But that's Cuba. Major leagues these are the best of the best.
I know, but still, I think my point is that he has the endurance to be a starter.
Okay.
Not necessarily, and he has the talent, and I think they're just not playing him right. I think they should give him more time in the minors before so he can get the confidence up, because he's off. He is.
They got to do it either now. They have to decide: do they want him to be a future closer, or do they want to send him down to be a starter? Because
it's almost like the Neftali Feliz situation.
Exactly. But Feliz was a good choice, a closer, I think.
You think the Reds could get anyone for him?
That's not a bad idea. I wouldn't mind trading him.
That's a pretty bad idea, actually.
We don't know where he's going to go. I mean, like where his career's going to be.
They would get a lot out of it, but unless they know something that I don't know, there's no way I would trade Aroldis Chapman from the Reds.
Wait, what do you mean? You wouldn't take him, or you wouldn't trade him? You wouldn't trade him.
I mean, I would definitely take him if he was on the block. But I mean, he is basically the Strasburg of this organization.
But the Reds don't have a good starting rotation as of now.
Exactly.
So what good is Chapman for them?
Yeah, you cut me off, but I mean, you were. If they send him down, they have to make the decision now whether they want him to be that lights-out closer or he want him to be a starter.
Because they have Cordero, and he's not old. I think he's 28 or something.
They need to decide now, because I mean, if they send him down now, they should really just maybe give him some drills on starting, maybe have him start some games down at the minors, then come back 100%. Up and throw some starts. Because he can't, like you said, he was a starter in Cuba. You can't make the transition that easily from Cuban starter to Major League middle reliever.
Yeah, they gave him, I think, 5 months last year in the minors, and that's all he's had minor league experience. He was rushed.
It's American baseball style is much more different from Latino baseball style.
Agreed.
It's a Latino baseball style. I think they throw a lot more like fastballs. But I mean, Latino pitchers, they really have to. Some of them have no trouble at all adjusting to this, like Pedro Martinez. Some of them have to stay down there for a while, and I think Chapman is one of those guys. He's got to have some more time in development. And if he comes up, the Reds have a really good weapon that they can pretty much produce throughout his career. I think he can end up having a pretty good career. You guys still want to talk about the Yankees or what? Because Jacob kind of interrupted me there.
Sorry.
Okay, we were talking about the Yankees and how bad they are doing. Do you guys think that the Yankees pitching staff can hold up for the rest of the season? Do you think that they can, maybe carry this offense and keep them above 500?
I think we need to make a trade.
Yeah, they need some sort of deal with the block.
This is an interesting situation because I think there's no way that the Yankees, with this team, how in what form they are, there's no way that they're going to make it to the playoffs. Absolutely no way. I think the Red Sox can definitely either take the division or the wild card, but unless they make a move like
in my opinion, I think they have to. I think they finally have to bail on Montero. I really do.
Are you kidding me?
I think that's the only way. If they want, their Yankees are always about being the good now.
No, but I think they really changed that.
Then bail on either Montero or Cervelli because I don't.
Cervelli, what's there with Cervelli? He's a backup catcher.
He's not a bad catcher. A lot of teams could use him. A lot of teams could use him.
He's a fast catcher.
For what? He's a backup catcher.
I think that's on some organizations he'd be a starting catcher.
Can't hit at all.
I wouldn't say that.
But what teams are going to take him? The teams that could use him as a starting catcher can need prospects more than starting catchers.
It's probably true.
Okay, so I don't think that he's going anywhere. He's going to be the Yankees starting catcher, unless they bring up Montero. I think Francisco Cervelli is a backup catcher, and I think if they brought up Montero, he'd still
I'm liking Russell Martin right now.
I was about to say
player.
that. Martin is a pretty good player. Martin's a very
surprisingly. Nobody saw it coming.
He was an all-star 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Last year he had 5 home runs all year.
Slump.
This year he hits. You don't go through season slumps.
You do.
Now I think it has to do with the AL transition. I don't know, but I think that he is more.
The AL transition usually it's AL to NL. They do better.
That's pitchers.
Hitters too.
Not always.
I mean, you got to develop to the pitching sometimes.
I don't know about that, but I think that that he's on a great team. I think he's surrounded by great players, and I mean he was with Torrey, and that's a great manager. But now he's coming over to New York, and I'm really surprised. I did not see this coming. I thought it was a terrible pickup when it happened.
Oh, well, who else are they going to have a catcher? I mean, you knew.
I thought Montero was going to be the starter.
You knew they were going to bring up Montero.
I thought they would.
I knew they weren't going to because he's too young, and I think the Yankees are being very smart with Montero. They know they have something that they can use in the future to be a star. When Jeter is gone, when Rivera is gone, when Posada is gone, Posada especially because he was their former catcher, they can have somebody who can be a leader to this team.
But they need to convert him. I don't think he's a terrible defensive catcher.
Okay.
Montero?
Yeah, he's awful. All he can do is hit. And in spring training, he didn't.
Where are they going to move him to? He's a big guy. He can't play first base. Teixeira's
either
there.
Possibly
DH
right
him.
field for Swisher.
He's slow though.
Think of Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza was a horrendous catcher. A horrendous catcher. Had absolutely no arm. He was okay behind the plate, okay with the pitchers, but I mean, he really wasn't the best defensive catcher you will ever see. But he is the best hitting catcher to date.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing about Montero. He has to hit to do well. And in spring training, he hit in the low 200s. And that's why he's still in the minors.
We were just talking about Chapman about this. You have to develop your talent. He is a big talent. So is Chapman. You have to develop them For them to be any good in the majors.
He's still also been in the minors for 4 years.
Okay, but I mean, maybe it's not his time. I know 4 years is definitely a lot, but I mean, spring training, you get off to slow starts.
4 years?
This is his 4th year, I'm pretty sure, because he was in Trenton. I remember seeing him in Trenton 2 years ago.
How old is he? 23 or 24?
He's a pretty old prospect. For a prospect that's been in there
for the number one prospect, he's pretty old. Yeah.
He's pretty old. What the hell is that? Okay, never mind. We'll keep on going with the show. So what were we talking about? Montero. I think, Jacob, you're right. They got to bring him up soon. I don't think it's as soon as you want them to bring him up.
Yeah.
Not now. Definitely not now. I mean, September roster. That's always an option.
Yeah.
Try him out next year. I mean, that's basically.
If the Yankees are out of it by September, start him.
Yep. And I think there's a good chance that they don't do anything about this. They will be.
Yeah.
And that's all up to Brian Cashman, who is an idiot. I must say, Brian Cashman is an idiot. I'm surprised that he still has a job. It's absolutely ridiculous.
His players aren't bad.
Yes, they are. Noah.
They're just slow. They're great players. Teixeira,
they are.
And A-Rod.
There's some of them. There's some of them, but he makes good moves. But I mean, with the money, there are some things that he has done over the past 10 years that I have been absolutely baffled about.
I thought the Rafael Soriano was a boss.
Vasquez, the first time, terrible move. Vasquez the second time.
Even have you not learned your lesson?
Exactly. And
Pavano,
exactly. Pavano was ridiculous. I don't think anybody could see that coming. Gets so many injuries on this milks out this whole contract, and now he is very good for the Twins.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't think he could have foreseen that. But there are some moves that I can't really bring him up because there's so many. But I mean, there's some moves that have just really left me questioned, particularly these players like Tony Womack that he brings up to the Yankees. Players like that I have a problem with.
Remember that?
Sierra.
Players that Sierra was okay. He was a veteran. But there's loser players that he brings up that have absolutely no winning spirit in them. If he wants the Yankees to win so bad, he's got the resources. He just doesn't do anything with it. I think Cashman has to be fired.
I think that
fired. I think
especially George said on his deathbed to Hank and Hal, do not fire him.
But I mean, he's been good friends with Steinbrenner. But I mean,
and I think that's the reason why he won't be fired.
The main reason I think he should be fired is especially because of his actions this offseason.
Terrible.
I mean, GMs are not supposed to go out and open their mouths. He does it pretty much whenever he gets the opportunity, especially with Posada.
Yeah, he opened his mouth Posada, too, exactly.
He opened his mouth Posada, opened his mouth about Soriano. This is not my idea. Not my idea at all. I don't like this player. I'm not sure if he said that, but he definitely bad-mouthed Soriano a little bit, insulted him, insulted the Yankees, and I mean, he's really he's making the team look bad.
He is.
And the Yankees are all about class, so I don't know if the Yankees are going to keep him. Speaking of that, guys, we could talk about the Subway Series this weekend. How do you see that ending up? The Yankees are in a bit of a slump. The Mets coming in haven't been very good for the past few years now.
Maybe it'll be good.
Past few years now.
The Tyler here today. Listen to that.
Past few years now. What?
Past few years, please. Whatever.
I think it might just be a terrible series.
It's going to be pathetic.
The Yankees have a chance to turn themselves around against the first place Rays. So I mean, they could beat the best.
We'll see what happens.
That should be a bit of a disaster. We'll talk to you guys about that on Friday.
Who's on the mound tonight?
Lopes, you guys on the mound.
Yankees and
Garcia started yesterday, so.
And Colon started yesterday.
No, it was
who's Garcia?
Is it CC today?
No, CC was Saturday.
And he got lighted
up. I guess it's
Nova.
Burnett.
It's Burnett.
It's Burnett.
Burnett didn't start the whole series against the Red Sox. It's Burnett. Okay, Lopes, want to wrap it up?
Yeah, that's going to do it for Moron Sports Radio. Everyone have a great day.